So I want to talk about artifact substat values, and later on in the video I will talk about the odds to roll a perfect artifact, which by the way is basically impossible, but I'll get to that. Now this info is really min-maxy and probably won't matter to a lot of people, especially right now, but eventually, once you max everything out, talents, weapons, character ascensions, the only thing left to farm will be artifacts, and once you have good artifacts, most people will stop there. But if you're looking to push your stats even further, down the line this info will start to become important. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So there's 4 different values you can roll for every substat. So attack percent, flat defense, so on. These values will differ depending on the rarity of the artifact. So higher rarity artifacts will have higher values. Here I've recorded all the possible values for epic tier or purple artifacts. You can ignore these values on the right for right now. Just these are important. Okay, so once you upgrade a substat, they can go up by one of these 4 values again. So at +4, +8, +12, plus, if you have 4 substats on the artifact already, let's say you have attack percent, crit damage, crit rate, energy recharge, let's say attack percent gets upgraded. It can only be increased by one of these 4 values if it's epic. There's no in-between numbers like 4.4%. It does not exist. It can only go up by 3.3, 3.7, 4.2, or 4.7%. Through some testing, I've found that some values are weird, like this HP percent artifact I upgraded went up by 4.6%, which is not one of the values listed here, but I think what happened with that was they don't show the 100th place decimal value. So this 4.7 is actually 4.65, and I already had a 4.65 and it went up by 4.65 again, giving me 9.3 instead of the 9.4 that it should have gave me. Currently, I do not have all the values for legendary artifacts. I will record them later, but right now I don't have them. I don't have enough legendaries to record at the moment. The fandom wiki, right here, has the values listed here. But these are only the lowest and highest values that they can roll. They're missing 2 values for each stat here. But, it's still good info. If you want to find this this page, it's the fandom wiki, and then you just go to the artifacts section and scroll down. So I'm assuming that legendaries will also have 4 different values that they can roll on. I don't have the info yet, but that's what I'm guessing as of right now. A few interesting things to note is that crit rate is always half of crit damage, or crit damage is double of crit rate. Attack percent scales the same as HP percent, but defense percent scales a bit higher than those two. And what that means is characters like Noelle actually scale higher off gear compared to most characters because defense percent is higher on gear. And main stat defense percent is also higher than attack percent on everything, basically. As you can see here, defense percent main stat is higher than attack percent. So it follows a little bit of a trend. And last thing to note is that flat attack also is lower than flat defense. So yeah, defense is scaled a little bit higher in gear, but you don't want to get defense unless you're playing Noelle anyways. That's basically the breakdown of the values and how the values increase when you upgrade artifacts. So remember, they can only roll one of these 4 values. There's going to be different values if they're legendary, but for epics, they can only roll one of these 4. And then every time you upgrade it to +4, +8, +12, 16, 20, they can only go up by one of these 4 values again. So now let's say you want to roll a perfect artifact. Well, that's basically impossible. And I've done the math here, and this is me calculating for a cup, which is the hardest artifact to roll because it has the most main stat rolls you can get. So 1 in 11, there's 11 main stats. And then I don't know this for sure, but I think, I'm just going to say there's 50% chance to get 3 or 4 starting substats on legendaries. Like sometimes you get a legendary and they only have 3 stats. I'm going to say that's 50%, so 1 and 2. And then to roll the perfect substat type, like you're looking for 4 specific substats, like attack percent, crit damage, crit rate, and then let's say energy recharge or flat attack or elemental mastery, whatever you want to put there. You're just looking for 4 specific ones. It's 1 in 210. And then to get the perfect values for each substat, it's 1 in 256. And then to get perfect substat upgrades, so you get perfect upgrade value for +4, +8, +12, 16, 20. It's 1 in 1024 to get perfect roll for each upgrade. Not for each upgrade, but going from +0 to +20, it's 1 in 1024. And it's 1 in 1024 again to upgrade a specific substat. So let's say you have attack percent, crit damage, crit rate, and whatever else as your 4 stat. And let's say you want to only, like you like crit damage and you like crit rate, but you like attack percent more, and you want to hit attack percent every time when you upgrade. That again is 1 in 1024. So if you take all of this, all of these odds put together, it is, I've already done it here, but it's 11 times 2 times 210 times 256 times 1024 times 1024 again. And then you get your final odds, which is 1 in 1.2 trillion. So this is basically why you're never getting a perfect rolled artifact. I think most people will probably stop at here. These first 3, they're going to look for the correct main stat. They're going to look for 4 starting stats, and then they're going to go for the correct stat type. And most people will not touch this already. These first 3 is already so many layers of RNG. So even getting that's pretty hard. And then if you're insane, you could try to go for these, but you're probably never going to get them. Like, to put in perspective how long this would take. So it's 1 in 1.2 trillion. Let's say you get 9 cups a day, right? Because you get 180 resin per day without refreshing or anything. I'm just throwing like kind of a rough number out there. But let's say you do like 9 domains and you get cup every single time, right? So you get 9 artifacts a day. It would take you this many days to get a perfect artifact. And then let's say, 365 days in a year. It would take you 377 million years. To put in perspective, even more, humans have been around for 6 million years. So if we divide this by 6 million, you would have to farm for 62 times as long as humans have been on Earth to get this. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And also, let's take that number again. Just one more perspective example before I end the video. So we got our odds here, right? The odds to roll, or not to roll, but to win the lottery, according to this random website I found on Google, is about like 1 in 300 million, right? Let's take this and plug in 300 million. that 300? Yep, that's right. You have better odds. You have about the same odds to win the lottery 4,000 times before you get a perfect rolled electro damage Kaching cup, let's say, or perfect rolled like whatever fire cup, crimson fire witch for Diluc cup. So yeah, the odds are pretty nuts, and I'm not saying you should or shouldn't try to min-max your artifacts. You're obviously not gonna get the perfect artifact, but once you get done with everything else in the game, you can use this info to see if you can increase your gear more or not. You don't have to get perfect artifacts, but you can still use this info to keep upgrading your gear past what you have in the future. And yeah, that is basically it. So thanks for watching, and good luck farming artifacts.